Hello everyone, and welcome back to Ace Attorney. In the last video, we started the final chapter of the game and met a lot of new characters. We don't have Maya, we have... Oh my god, what's her name? What's her name? Guys, this is really awkward. Look, it's been a few days, okay? It's been a week. You guys know it's been a week. There's a week between uploads. So, maybe I forgot her name. I'm sorry. But we're working to defend her sister in court because... I mean, she's admitting her guilt, but it doesn't seem to be her. You know, she's accused of killing a prosecutor, and she's like the, high, I don't know what the term is, she's like the lead prosecutor person. She's like the chief. I've got no clue what is gonna go on with this case. I have no clues as to, what's really happening or the culprit or anything. But that, I guess, makes sense because we're very early on. As I mentioned, this is gonna be a longer chapter because starting right now, it seems like it's going to be split, trial days are going to be split in half, and we're going to have, trial former, trial latter for each one. So we'll see how that works out. I'm guessing there's going to be, a break point in the middle, and that's where we'll end off each video. So I guess you'll get 2 trial videos in a row from here on out. Yeah, also Edgeworth. You know, the judge's wacky court, it's back in session, baby. He is going to be our opponent once again. Hooray! But okay, let's get back into it. What's your name, girl? Not you. You're Lana. I know that.
How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright?
Frankly, there are still a lot of gray areas. Emma! That's your name. I knew that. I totally knew that. Or rather, the whole thing is one big gray area.
Don't worry about me, no matter what the outcome.
I feel like a mean girl voice doesn't really fit you, but I'm committed. Okay, that's your voice now.
I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis. Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice.
Yes?
A defense attorney should never believe their client. The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that.
Miss Guy, you remind me a lot of Mia. But there is one decisive difference between you and her.
And that is?
You're not a defense attorney.
I believe it's almost time for the trial.
Yeah, you don't know what it's like. I am curious why she's just, accepting her fate, though. I get she probably realizes how hard it is to get her off in this, situation, but she really is just yeah, no. I did it, I guess.
Good luck, Mr. Wright.
My first trial without a Fae helping me. No one's going to bail me out this time. I miss Maya! I'll be alone in there. So I have to discover the truth all by myself.
Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way.
You're not Maya. Let's do this.
Court is now in session for the trial of Ms. Lana Skye. My wacky court is finally back the way it should be. Well, not quite. Mr. Wright, why do you like having teenage girls by your side for these trials? It's like a weird form of moral support. You know, I could be by your side.
No, Judge.
Very well.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor.
Edgeworth. It's been 2 months, but I haven't been in a courtroom since his trial, despite what the credits after that chapter had said that I was.
I hope that personal feelings will not be a part of proceedings today, Mr. Wright.
I must say, I did miss having you over there, Edgeworth. Look at you.
I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is on our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please.
Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot. In my car!
Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I like it.
I mean, what? I suddenly feel like confessing to everything.
She will not pay for her rashness with her life. There's a witness to your crime. A professional witness.
Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, I love telling you to call a witness. Everything is back the way it should be in my wacky court.
The prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Star, to the stand.
The cough up queen. I don't remember what kind of voice I gave you, but I'm gonna roll with it.
Haven't I seen you somewhere?
You ordered the caviar lunch, right?
Oh, caviar. I've never eaten caviar before.
They're just really wolfing it down.
Ah, this is very good. I did not eat breakfast in the morning. I was up very late at my mahjong practice, and so then I slept in and I had to rush here.
Ah, and for you, I have a fiesta bowl.
Thanks.
Will the witness state her name and profession?
Ah, and you, sir. Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? Of course she's not gonna say her name.
It is too early for lunch. Your name and profession. Please, I'm sick of this shit.
Well, Your Honor, how does it taste?
So this is what everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty it hurts. I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca.
What the heck does pickled tapioca taste like?
Don't act like you don't know, Phoenix. I used to make it in your breakfast every morning when we lived together.
Name, profession, now.
Me? The name's Angel Star. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth?
Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us.
The prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating. This is very delicious.
Hurry it up.
Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call on the police to provide a description of the crime.
Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional.
Huh? What exactly does that mean? It's a big word.
Until 2 years ago, Miss Angel Star was a special investigator with the police. She was a first-rate homicide detective.
What? Miss Star was a detective?
I know who you are. Cough up.
Cough up Queen, Angel Star, Your Honor. Long time no see.
Very well. You may continue with your description, Miss Star.
Just who is this lady?
If I might have the court's attention over here. The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks. I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutor's spaces, yes?
Oh, the judge said that.
I was working on my impression of women. It was pretty good, wasn't it? I'm going to be a voice actor on Tuesdays.
The crime took place by a car in the back of A block in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with this knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness, and an arrest was made on the spot.
And who is this valiant witness?
Why, it was me, Your Honor.
Parking lot floor plans. The parking lot with Edgeworth's car.
Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime?
Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor.
It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright.
I can't agree on your principle, Your Honor.
It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining?
If you can, then give them your worst, Miss Star. I would love to see it.
Wait, are they talking about me?
Somehow, I always knew a day like this would come.
What do you mean by that?
I was on my way to
to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend. When I sensed something, perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her hand. Then, she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest.
Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend. How touching. I wish someone did that for me.
Whatever. As you can see, there's no room for doubt.
The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman.
So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed? I'm still thinking about that.
It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness.
Okay. Okay, what did you mean by this? What do you mean you always knew this would happen? How did you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime, yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. I love when you bow.
The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted.
Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim, killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I found my dream job when I became an investigator, and if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Laid off? She was fired. To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless.
Very well. It is unbiased and flawless. You may continue, Ms. Starr.
Okay. Who's your boyfriend? This boyfriend. He's the detective? Not that boyfriend. The security guard.
That boyfriend. You have several. My God, you're a cheater. That is not okay and will not stand in my judge's wacky court. You will be punished afterwards.
Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants.
I'll stick with the lunches, thanks.
Note to self, the judge had to think before replying. The security guard is in the lot in A block. It's up on the second level, so you can see everything from there. That would be the room with the security sign. Incidentally, did you bring your lunchboxes by car?
Since I am a visitor, now I parked in B block.
So she was in B block when she witnessed the crime. I gotta keep going. I don't think it's that. Fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to this one? By garish car, you mean? Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes.
Mr. Edgeworth?
Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's. Wasn't it?
Indeed it was.
What an odd case this is. You can't catch a break, Edgeworth. And the person you saw, you are sure it was the defendant.
I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I'm certain it was her. If she's telling the truth, we're doomed. Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick. Witness, in your testimony, you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness. You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie. Rookie? Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. I'll fry you like a fritter, crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside.
That's That was inspiring.
I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism? I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed.
A photograph. You took this.
The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snap, I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera. I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck. Goodness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now? You think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. I'm going to kill you myself. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs.
Well, this is most certainly the defendant.
Lana, why are you covered in blood? What is this? The moment of the crime, as photographed by Angel Starr. I mean, I can see why this one's gonna take so long. This is gonna be a hard one to worm our way out of and find out who really did it. Uh-oh, that is unmistakably Lana Skye. So what was the defendant doing at the time? Chief prosecutor's holding a knife in her right hand. But she wasn't. But she's not. Where's the knife? Unless you're talking about afterwards, but she's literally not. Right? Is that what I'm supposed to do? This? And you witnessed this. You saw Miss Skye stab the victim with a knife. As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swirl lunch.
I'm sure that is a fine lunch indeed.
Judge, please. But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took the very moment of the crime, is it not? Okay, so I was right. Then why is Miss Skye not holding a knife?
Ahem. Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts?
Objection. My thoughts are objection. That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth.
Yeah, it didn't pop up in big red letters.
Yet it was still stronger than your ever feeble mind, Mr. Wright.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing.
But that's not what she said. And how can you tell that?
Blood splatter.
Huh?
See the dark crimson stains on the chief prosecutor's coat?
But it's a black and white photograph.
Ah, yes, it is hard to tell. But this could be blood, or ketchup, or mayonnaise, or mustard, or paint, or oil, or rain, or a different color of paint, or more mustard. Judge! I'm sorry, I was just listing off the possibilities to help you, Phoenix.
Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here.
No problem. Except you.
Mr. Wright, are you going to just sit there and take that kind of abuse?
Ugh, you got a better idea? No problem. I've got this, right? Or is that what that means? Like, no problem, like, right? I think that's I think so, right? The wording on that was confusing me. Now that you mention it, I see no problem here.
Oh, no, that wasn't what I meant.
Other than myself.
Mr. Wright, you can't just let him walk all over you. That's just sad.
I thought it meant like, no problem, I've got this. I was confused.
Feeling sad, Mr. Wright? Perhaps a bittersweet first love lunchbox is in order.
Well, that was a waste of time. Let's continue with the testimony.
Perhaps I should have dug a little deeper. Maybe I was supposed to do that, though. Okay, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do now. I'll be honest. Oh wait, he said maybe I should have dug it a little deeper. Oh. Am I supposed to do that again? I probably hit the wrong thing. That's probably what it was. Okay. Let's do it again. And you witnessed this. You saw... Did you say this already?
As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my phone. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we got this already. Okay, I just picked the wrong thing. Remember the weakest objection ever. It could be mustard or ketchup or oil or a different paint. Okay, I'm not gonna misunderstand this time. Yes, it could be blood or ketchup or maybe some grease. Okay, objection. Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime.
Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies.
That's it. It's not good enough, lady.
If you run out of lunch, you can order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go.
Good advice. I'm not sure I understood it, but good advice.
I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Skye was cold, calculating, like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder.
Premeditated? How do you know?
Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in the photograph.
Well, are those gloves?
Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. My sprite went over the picture.
Wow.
These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation, but they would also fit the narrative of ketchup or mustard, perhaps mayonnaise. Even the paint. She might not have wanted to get her hands dirty.
Premeditated murder, a serious offense.
Witness, add this to your testimony.
The murder was planned. The rubber gloves prove it.
Do they? Do I have any evidence? The king of... Okay, it's not that. The murder weapon, usually in Edward's toolbox, traces of victim's blood, no prints. Well, no, wait. Oh, look at this! But I guess it would make sense that there's no prints. I kind of do think it's this, though. Witness, do you know what this is?
Are you trying to test me? I sell lunchboxes for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife.
Well, your prints should be on it. What's with this case? A bloody murder weapon, a red car, all belonging to the prosecutor there? The defendant is the chief prosecutor for the district, right? Mommy, are prosecutors bad people? Why did you bring your child to this? The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony.
What's that, rookie?
In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder. If she planned the murder, she wouldn't have had to use Edward's knife. She would have brought one with her. Is that why I picked this piece of evidence? No, I picked it because I was like, at least there should be some fingerprints on it, but there's none. Look, sometimes it doesn't matter how you get there as long as it's the right answer. And that's why she was wearing those special gloves.
Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning.
However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing, the murder weapon?
Oh,
you're lying, lady. But why? Probably because you hate prosecutors. Are you how involved are you in this murder? This knife just happened to be in the trunk of the car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon.
ah!
Order! Order! Order!
Right, now the tide is turning in our favor.
Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free.
I wouldn't say that.
Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie.
What?
I hope you aren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail.
I wasn't. Emma was. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory.
Bah. The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Sky, murdered a detective with the knife. That is the only thing the prosecution needs to prove. Nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing?
I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. God, I'm going to be late for Mahjong. Again.
Goodness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought.
How dare you?
My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated.
We don't want your deduction. Really now? We just wondered what you saw.
Okay.
Lana Sky intended to murder Detective Goodman. Goodman, not, there's no D on the end. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. Let me, check the autopsy report quick. Oh, look, 1 knife wound. I know what I'm doing.
The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it?
So if I ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy?
In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness.
You said multiple stab wounds, but there was only 1. I'll get there. Yeah, this one. Boom. You say she stabbed him again and again. But you couldn't have witnessed that.
Are you testing me? Then I'll test you.
With my moss surprise. That's a box of moss.
I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr.
What do you mean?
I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that death was due to a loss of blood from 1 stab wound.
Edgeworth! You've grown! You never would have pointed that out earlier. Aw.
Aha, you're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth.
I'm the one that objected. What a hunk. He's my hero, really. Yeah. Same girl. What about my objection? No one noticed?
Well, witness.
You got the crime scene set, right?
Oh, thanks.
I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood.
Or maybe mustard or mayonnaise.
You set him off again.
But now I realize that such mistakes are possible. So, you're saying you mistook something for blood? When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice.
Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify! I'm going to be late for Mahjong, and I'm sick of it. I'm going to kill you with my laser vision!
Her red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was.
Did she have one on? Look what she's not wearing. A red muffler. Boom. Miss Starr, I demand an explanation.
The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. That's why she was fired.
Hey!
What? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you've proved it yourself with this photograph.
Huh? But that can't be.
Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless.
I love you, Edgeworth. You've changed. You're, like, it's not specifically like you're helping me out. You're just like, no. That's not what happened, you know? Like, we were gonna find the right person who did this, even though I am the prosecution.
Congratulations! Perhaps you finally found your true calling in life.
Harsh words, but good. I like harsh.
In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. What was my objection? Chopped liver? What? It was there. A scarf. No, not that, but something red. Really?
Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business. What?
Very well, witness. Continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that.
Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least.
Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony.
Most important part?
The part where your sister stabs the victim. Okay, here's something that I've noticed. I kind of noticed it editing the last one. And I just noticed it now. Why? Maybe this is just an accident. Maybe this is nothing. I can't help but notice that Emma keeps commenting on things that Phoenix thinks. I did not say that last line was in Phoenix's head. Was it not? Emma just responded to it. He thought, like, the part... he couldn't shake the most important part. And she was like, the most important part? I thought that. How did you hear that? It's not just something I've noticed. I mean, we've got mediums in this game, so it's not out of the realm of possibility that she's reading my mind. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth.
After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot.
Ah, yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony.
The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile.
You are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you?
I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Star.
That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is kind of a snake.
Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten.
No thanks.
Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites.
I think everyone is, Emma.
The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum.
An oil drum? Hard to imagine.
Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will.
I think there's a few. At least two that I want to press on. There's the obvious one. I kind of want to press on this one. You said quickly. Were you close to the suspect? Because you're right. Because, like, that was my thought process, is you were on the other side of the fence.
As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time.
There's a fence! Maybe I should press her for more details? Yeah, there's a fence. I'd like to see this on the floor plans, just to be safe. The Lynchland car was...
She's a visitor, thus she was parked in B block.
So you witnessed the murder from here?
That would make about 30 feet from the car, yes.
Is that correct, Miss Starr?
Yes, that's right.
There was a chain link fence in front of you?
I went over it, of course.
The judge. He's asking the right questions today.
Amazing! The Cup Queen Lunch Lady athlete indeed! I would love to see you do the hurdles sometime.
It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence. So she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast.
Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high, too. So how did Miss Sky get away? Okay, yeah, also press on this. She mentioned the muffler. What exactly did she say?
If I remember exactly, I would have told you in my testimony.
Cheeky.
Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler.
Just that one word.
So, what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else?
Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Her phone. She can't mean ask further. By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene?
Yes, ultimately. Ultimately.
My memory.
It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see?
No, the court doesn't see, Miss Starr. I'm not good with metaphors, or similes, or anything like that.
The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall.
On the wall?
That's right. Near the car. There was an emergency phone on the wall.
Apparently, it was out of order.
And so she used her cell phone.
Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day.
Good witnessing, witness.
Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying?
You should, of course, add this to your testimony.
Things I do to please the rookie defense attorney.
The word muffler was overheard during a call made to Emma at 5:18. They could be talking about, like, a muffler on a car, right?
I saw it all. How she tried the phone on the wall, but had to use her cell instead.
Press. Do you think you could restate your testimony for the court?
Aha! I was going to ask the same thing. We're on the same wavelength, Phoenix.
I'll only say this one time, so listen close, rookies. The chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind the partition.
Well, then how'd you see her?
Then she picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order. So she pulled her own cell phone out of her pocket.
You shouldn't have been able to see that. She's behind a wall.
And during that time, you climbed over the chain link fence.
Then, when I boldly grabbed her arm, the chief prosecutor hung up her phone.
And you saw her doing this.
What is it, Mr. Wright?
Okay. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile.
You would not have been able to see her. Miss Starr, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Ms. Lana Skye.
Witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias. Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You, who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago.
Awkward. Well, Ms. Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this?
I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up.
Let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Skye making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the back side of this partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it.
What?
Order! Order! What is the meaning of this?
It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch. She's coughing up lies.
Grr. That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question. That's exactly what lie this witness has told the court.
Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about what she saw, where she saw it, the order of events. where she saw it, because she couldn't have saw it from there. This guy tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Ms. Starr to lie about it.
Pointless to lie. I see.
Let's say the witness did actually see Ms. Skye using the emergency phone. It would mean Ms. Starr witnessed the crime from a different location.
A different location? That's a pointless lie if I've ever heard one.
Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it.
Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime?
All the testimony we've heard until now points in one direction. The place from where Ms. Starr witnessed this crime was here. Was it the security room? Because she went to visit her boyfriend? I love that I hit the wrong button every time this map comes up. This is the only place where she could have been.
The security guard room.
Indeed, the security room in the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second floor, so you can see the entire lot.
She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are many other places where she could have seen the phone.
Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in a block. The only place where she could have seen the crime and the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Starr?
How many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the tables could be turned. Today a man has got the better of Angel Starr.
Order! Order, witness! What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better. I'm gonna be late for Mahjong. You should know better.
I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished, and I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails.
The guilty... Is she talking about Ms. Skye?
Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Ms. Starr lie? It doesn't make sense.
Huh?
She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything.
Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. That truth still stands.
It still stands. I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth.
What?
I missed our little back and forth like this. I love helping you and being friends with you, but I like having this too. If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason.
So tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright.
Huh? Me?
Who else? You have all the answers.
Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from B block. It must make a vital difference. But what would change? The distance to the crime. It changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime.
My condolences, Mr. Wright, but one look at the floor plans, and it's quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that would change what she could see.
What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Skye?
Well, witness.
You
Yes?
ordered the squid wheels, right?
The quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible.
I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend.
Boysenberry for the boyfriend. It's a lot of the letter B.
He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it.
This is a long way around.
That's why I had to go through the visitors parking lot. Visitors parking in B block.
That's quite a detour.
It probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime.
You said you were there quickly.
5 minutes. This changes things considerably.
But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork.
You have a point. And the spork is a wonderful invention. I do love myself a good spork.
Would you like another caviar lunch?
Absolutely.
Uh-oh. Judge is being persuaded.
Mr. Wright, you have to do something.
Do I have any evidence to stop this? Raise an objection. 5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You can make pasta in that amount of time, if you like it al dente.
Al dente.
I've got lunch boxes that tie pasta into knots, rookie.
A 5-minute blank. Isn't that strange?
Strange.
If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor?
Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Head to Mahjong. Hey! Don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone and then go to Mahjong.
But you have the instincts of a killer. You would run. But this time was different. Miss Skye dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable.
Yuck!
Well then, it seems we've come to the end of this testimony. The witness has a grudge against the defendant and a blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, is the next witness ready to go?
Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history.
We did it! We screwed that can shot, Mr. Wright. That was too close.
I'm afraid that the cough-up queen has been dethroned. And with that, that court is adjourned.
Or not!
Now what?
Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right?
That's the one she tried to foist off on me.
I prefer not to take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say? I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence.
What was that?
Just another one of her trick lunchboxes.
My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Ms. Starr.
Ah. Is this your jumbo lunchbox?
Oh, a triple-decker. You know just what to say to a man. Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this decisive evidence.
Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed.
What's she going to pull out of her lunchbox this time?
I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One was, of course, the victim's, and the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Ms. Lana Skye.
Okay, it matched, but it doesn't mean it's her blood. It's just the same blood type.
This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence.
I don't know about that one. I'm just gonna press on all of them, because it doesn't hurt. I don't know. They all seem kind of off.
What? There was blood found on that shoe.
Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs. What's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence? Simple. As I've already said, I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself. And you had blood tests performed?
Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics.
In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence.
What?
You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being.
Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. Edgeworth sure is celebrating.
Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth.
Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, this shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth.
Ugh.
Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen. You could at least study some evidence law, really.
The prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, it seems you have yet another count against you witness.
Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged. White enamel shoe. Bears traces of blood from Goodman and Lana Sky.
Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness.
Okay. I'm just gonna press everything. Because I don't know. Press. Why did you lie about those 5 minutes?
I guess you could say I just wanted people to look at the results.
The results?
How many times do I have to say this? I saw the chief prosecutor stab the victim before my very own eyes. Compared to that, a 5-minute blank means nothing. Then why didn't you just tell the truth?
Don't make me laugh.
We're dealing with the most untrustworthy of the vile lot known as prosecutors. Falsified evidence, arranged testimonies, erasing and manipulating evidence. When you fight monsters, you need to use every trick in the book.
This when the suspect is admitting she did it.
But false testimony is the most despicable crime of all, Ms. Starr. Let's just get this over with. I hate you, no matter how many lunches you give me.
Okay, who's mine? And you found this shoe at the scene of the crime?
I detained the chief prosecutor and notified the police department. I wanted to make myself useful while I was waiting for the police to arrive. So, like an ill-trained pooch, you snuck off with a shoe. I was afraid someone would erase the chief prosecutor's crime. This shoe is my secret weapon, if that should happen. See this fashionable basket I have here? It carries more than lunchboxes, gentlemen.
I'm happy for you and your lunchbox bag, really.
In any case, you removed valuable evidence from the scene of the crime. Now tell us what you did next. I'm going to kill this woman.
Press. So you brought it to the forensics department.
If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it approved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert.
And she got away with her little coup because she used to be a detective.
The shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it, or maybe ketchup.
Well, the man was stabbed after all.
And that blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodman.
As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe.
And that. You can't say for sure the blood belonged to the defendant with a blood test.
You claim to know something about blood results, Ricky?
Huh?
Well, speak up.
Well, blood comes in 4 types, A, B, O, and AB. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed in cold blood.
That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright.
Actually, we can differentiate between millions of types with all the blood tests out there, which means that we can more or less narrow any sample of blood down to just one person. Or so I hear.
That's pretty specific.
If I had a little more time, I would have gotten DNA test results. But they said there's very little doubt it could be anyone but Ms. Lana Skies.
So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe.
That ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman.
I was afraid he was going to say that. And press. I can't let this evidence go through without a fight.
You ordered the peppered fish guts, right? Some like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some like your client. She's in enough hot water to make a whole vat of soup.
Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe?
A problem? This is critical. Is there a problem? Is there a problem with the victim's shoe?
Probably. I'm gonna say there is.
No, wait. Oh, wait. I pressed the wrong thing. No, I read it wrong. I read it wrong. I read it wrong. I read it wrong. No, I read it wrong. I read it wrong. I read it wrong. I thought that was... There is a problem. I meant to say that.
I wanted to say there was a problem, and I just read...
I got the two mixed up. I read it wrong. If I'm not imagining things, I'd say there is one critical problem with this evidence. A clear contradiction.
That gleam in your eyes. You're still young, rookie. I'd give you a peppered fish gut now, but you couldn't take the heat, could you?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Show us the problem with this evidence.
Oh, right. I forgot this was a mechanic. Oh, you're not gonna light up in yellow now? Is it the bottom? This? I wonder if you noticed. There's blood on the bottom of this shoe.
Don't mess with me, rookie, or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe.
I will not accept threats of violence in my court, especially against Phoenix. Indeed, there is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe.
It makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about blood on the bottom of his shoe?
I got it out eventually. Is it this? There's no blood on the floor. The problem lies in the footprints. Yeah, there was no bloody footprints.
The footprint?
Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why weren't any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime?
Aha!
As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about this shoe.
This picture only shows part of the floor, so they could have been bloody footprints.
Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort.
Order! 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 Well, witness.
What?
Great going, Mr. Wright, but it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction. But then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint.
Oh.
That's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint. The girl is right.
Think, Mr. Wright, think.
Hey, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions.
What?
Edgeworth has something? Is it good or bad?
I see. Now I get it.
Get what?
Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There is one vital hint to the truth in her testimony.
What are you talking about?
Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect.
The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hand aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr.
I do remember when she said rawr, like a kitty cat.
I thought that was strange. A strange thing for the normally cool-headed chief to do.
No kidding.
Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum was empty. Oh, that? I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory.
Witness, well, was the oil drum empty?
oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water.
Water? What does that mean?
Still don't get it, Mr. Wright. Do you want to know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason?
Aha! You don't mean.
Yes, the suspect knocked over the oil drum for one reason and one alone. To erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her.
But then there would have been water all over the floor. That wasn't part of the crime scene or anything, and her shoes would have been wet. You know? Wow, there still would have been... I don't know about that one.
That ties things up quite nicely.
I don't think it does.
The bloodstains left on the victim's shoes tie her quite clearly to this murder. Then, after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs.
Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty, erasing evidence.
That reminds me, Miss Sky's right hand was hurt. Oh yeah, didn't she say she'd cut herself when she stabbed him?
So that's when
My sister's blood got onto the shoe?
Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial.
Mr. Wright, do something, please. What? What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime, and she tried to conceal it.
But...
Enough. There is no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor.
Very well.
But Angel Star is on the prosecution's side. She could have been lying about the water.
This court finds the defendant, Ms. Lana Sky.
You? Again?
Little girl, what did you just say?
Huh? Me?
Did you just say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution's side?
You really hate the prosecution, huh?
Well, yeah, you are.
You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints.
Well, I thought you'd had your fill, but here you are demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox. A lunchbox called evidence.
Wait, witness, don't tell me you have something else.
The time for deliberations has passed. Any further comments and you will be held in contempt of court. Your threats don't scare the cop up queen. Look at this.
A photograph.
I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim.
I see no room for error in this evidence.
Mr. Wright, wait. Look at the asphalt in this photo. Hey, it's clearly wet.
Okay. Then apparently there was water on the ground, erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all. It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning. And it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. I'm sorry, Mia.
Right, wet or not? Don't be so quick to throw in the towel.
I love how I can just access you even without Maya.
Get yourself up off the asphalt. Take another good look. Don't give up. Not until the bitter end.
This is the last piece of evidence.
Very well. This time I'd like to declare a verdict for good.
It's me this time, I bet. Yeah. Your Honor, wait.
What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? I'm going to be late for Mahjong! Whatever it is, can it wait until after Mahjong?
No, it can't. Then it would be too late. Look at this photograph, the last one submitted. This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration.
So, right? Are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence?
Yeah. I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem. Right or wrong, I've got to go ahead with this.
I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show the court the problem in this photograph.
I did take notice. There's something in the exhaust. Maybe this is why she's saying muffler. The problem in this photograph is here.
What's this? There's something poking out of the car's muffler.
Muffler.
Just wait a moment, Mr. Edgeworth.
Your Honor?
You just said muffler. However, I see no traces of a muffler or scarf of any kind in this photograph.
Muffler is also part of a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system. A pipe.
I see. You're so smart, and I see. What's that suspicious-looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler?
So what if there is something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Sorry, Miss Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony.
What?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth is in the muffler is related to this case.
Muffler. Miss Starr, recall your testimony for the court. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused to my earlier testimony. Muffler. Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Oh, whoa, woo, woo. Weird scream of agony.
Well, it seems we'll have to suspend the proceedings.
Suspend?
I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered, here, we do a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once, and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed.
I suppose so.
Phew. That was close. But we made it. At least for now.
This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime, after all, and I have 3 lunches to eat.
You still hungry? To be continued. Okay, yeah. Break in the middle. Well, a lot went down there, and I'm no closer to figuring it out than I was before. I mean, I feel like all I really know is that, lunch lady, Angel, is a liar. I don't know why she's lying. Is she involved with the real murderer? I don't think she is the real murderer. I don't think that happened that quickly. Like, first trial, like, oh, it's her, you know? I'm confused what Lana was doing there, covered in what looks like blood, and there's something in the muffler. Or maybe she stumbled upon him dead. Someone else did it, and then it was pinned on her. Not sure. Maybe we'll get some more insight next time, because right now I'm a little confused. But I must say, I did enjoy this one. You know, the classic Edgeworth versus Phoenix. It was fun. Judge's Wacky Court, it's back in session. Okay, good fun times. But yeah, each section of this chapter has definitely been longer so far. Next time we will do the second half of this trial, see what happens. So for right now, I'm gonna go ahead and go. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!